Breathe. I haven't even had a sip of coffee. It is so cold. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope y'all are doing well this morning. It's cold. It's not but 31. I wanted to talk about a few things before I have to go get my tags done. I'm always just like, I woke up in a great mood. I'm under extreme amounts of financial stress, you know? It's like, I will say that school is going well. The difference in a university and a community college is significantly different. The way that you're going to be treated and respected at a community college is 100% different. When you go to a university, you are simply a number. And my advice to students, new upcoming students, would be that if they are incapable of answering your questions, would that not make them incapable of teaching you a subject properly? Sit on that and then go revisit community college campuses, because there is no reason that school needs to be $58,000 per year. That is ridiculous. That is the system ripping off potential workers, you know. They're ripping off students. Essentially, you know, the goal is to get them to take out student loans so that they can, in the future, obtain money from students for student loans out of their career. You know, it's a money racket, and the people at the universities that, you know, I've talked to multiple universities, 2 private colleges, 1 private college could not even let me know if they were going to cover my computer or if I needed to do that myself, or if they were going to rent me one. It took them almost 2 weeks, and class started on the 13th. So, you know, it shouldn't be that hard. If I'm a student and I want classes, I should be able to call down and be like, hey, what do I need to do? And it's been easy peasy. I can't even put into words how easy it has been to get enrolled, do my registration, do my residency. Sorry, it's a process. There's like 6 steps. It has been easy breezy in comparison to with a university or a private college. And it has nothing to do with the enrollment process. It has everything to do with when they are to actually help someone that needs help. Like, I need help, you know? It's been 20 years. I need help. And you go to a university and you're like, hey, I need help. And they're like, yeah, just call this number. You call the number and they're like, oh, this is not a number. We'll transfer you to admin. Then they transfer you to administration. And they're like, oh, no, you need to be transferred back to student whatever. And it's like, if y'all ain't got y'all's ducks in a row and you don't even know what department I need to be transferred to, I can't trust you to educate me. It is literally your job as a student advisor to get back to me and help me. Community colleges, they own it, boy. They own it, okay? They own it. That's all I know to tell you. And maybe it's an isolated incident area I'm in. But all I know is Lindsay is a phenomenal person. And Lindsay helped me with all of my questions. And Lindsay helped me fill out my paperwork. And Lindsay helped me go through the 5-step process to enroll. That is your job as an advisor in a college. And I'm sick of these colleges ripping off these students, making them take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans, and then not even giving them the proper guidance through education. They need guidance to have the best possible outcome. It's just preposterous to me that we've gotten to a place in this country we pay for bad service. But you can take your ass down to community college for $2,000 and get you a degree. 6 if you're going to do a 2-year. But still, my tuition is only going to be like $2,000 this year. So, you know. But I'm part-time, so that's why. Anyways, it's just crazy the difference in a university that has no respect for their students and a college that does. And, you know, this is why a lot of people are turning back to trades. We had more people turn back, more students enter trades last year. And it's the first year that we've really seen big numbers with people into trades such as welding, mechanic work, auto mechanic work, HVAC, all forms of construction. We saw numbers peak last year from students looking into other options because they're getting smarter. They're like, it shouldn't cost $40,000 for me to get a 2-year degree. Like, I know it's Stanford, that's expected. You know, if you're going to Berkeley, if you're going to LSU, if you're going to Harvard, if you're going to a school like that, then I kind of understand. If you're going to damn Elon Law School, I get it. But when we're talking about private colleges like Greensboro College, UNCG Greensboro State, I can't think of a bunch of them off the top of my head. I think I've done a good job, especially since I haven't been to any of those. But when we're talking about, you know, in-state schools that are not, you know, as prestigious as maybe, you know, New York Law School or something, then, you know, it's just unacceptable. You know, it shouldn't be, your parents shouldn't have to take a second mortgage just to get your ass in there. You know, it's really sad. And they're getting ripped off. And I'm glad that people are waking up and going to community colleges. And I cannot speak enough about my school. And y'all know when I finish, I'll tell you which school it is. But until then, I'm going to not. So, anyways, there was a senator that was arrested this morning. Was that? Or no, it was last night. It was last night. The video is wild. His name is Colton. And he's young. I was actually surprised. He looked, well, from here back, he looks he looks older, but from here on, he looks like 20. And he's the senator of Georgia. He's one of the senators of Georgia. Georgia state senator shoved to the ground, arrested for entering House chamber. So a little bit of backstory. There's another guy that's tied to this that had banned his, hold on. Do y'all hear that? David Ralston. Sorry, I ADHD. Will you go? So I can think. This David Ralston actually banned Colton Moore from the Senate floor in Georgia. Now, it looks like he's a sitting Georgia senator. He was shoved to the ground, and he was also arrested. And if I'm not mistaken, they arrested him for like Lord, y'all, it's one of them weird ones. Hold on one second. It's crazy to me how different he looks from top to bottom. Like, pretty much, this article doesn't even tell me the story. Pretty much from what I read, there was one guy that banned Colton Moore from coming in to the offices where they were going to be having, and he keeps trying to push his way through the door. And there's all of these, what was shocking to me was all of the cops that are standing around. There's all of those state troopers standing around, and this senator is trying to get into this meeting, and they are blocking him. Other senators are pushing him. At one point, they actually physically push him to the ground, but yet he was arrested. Now, he was not supposed to be there. He was actually trespassing. And he was actually, they charged him with a misdemeanor. It's pretty much, he was able to sign himself out. It won't tell me. I freaking hate the New York Post. They don't put shit in those sometimes. He was arrested for a misdemeanor. Obstructing law. Thank you. Okay, obstructing justice, okay? Obstructing law enforcement he was charged with. The craziest part is that he was physically assaulted on national television, and nobody did shit about that. Now, he was absolutely in the wrong by showing up there. And one thing that I wanted to look in is who this Ralston was, because it seems like, so he is David Ralston is a former, oh God, he looks so evil, y'all. He looks so evil. So he was an American attorney and a Republican politician who was a member of the Georgia House of Representatives from 2003 until his death. No, that's not him then. Oh, he did die. He died in 22. So it looks like before this man died, David Ralston, who looks evil as hell. He was also the 73rd Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives. So for those that don't know, I actually had House of Representatives currently who offered me money in exchange for sex. And when I refused, I ended up having to quit my job over it. So, listen, I'm not saying all these people are bad, but I am saying that this was recent. This was last year in January. A House of Representatives from Georgia offered me their business card and offered me to have sex with them for money, and even offered me for me to fly out to meet him. So I just find that interesting. But it looks like Colton has spoke out against David. And in 2022, he called David out in the middle of a speaker meeting. And he said, you are corrupt. You are evil. You are wasting taxpayers' money. And that's why David banned Colton Moore from coming into the area that they were going to, it was, I guess, like a senator's meeting. Is that the Senate? Are they meeting at the Senate? Doesn't tell me where the building was. So he goes back. I guess he heard that this guy died. Maybe he thought because David died that he could just waltz up in there and do whatever he wanted to. I have no idea, but he went to jail. But I wanted to point out once again that I found it interesting that he was physically assaulted during this altercation, and nobody says anything about that, you know, and that happened before he was arrested. So it's just sketchy. And I don't know anything about David, but hot. It's hot. I wonder if we can figure out what Colton said back in the day. Y'all, I want to talk about that nurse in Virginia that was arrested this week. I've been kind of waiting to talk about that because it's been... So it looks like all it's saying is Colton Moore was arrested after he tried to defy a ban on entering the house. It's crazy. I might post it here. It's crazy. I'm just like, whoa, wait a second. He's physically being assaulted. Like, I know... I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I've never been to the Senate, so or the House. I don't know how they work. But it was very appalling to me that he was getting physically hit and pushed to the ground, and nobody wanted to say anything about that. Like, there's all these cops standing around, and it's just like things are getting wild out here when we have, you know, senators fist fighting. They're fist fighting, you know? It's like, whoa, boys. So there was a nurse. Her name was Erin Elizabeth Ann Stroutman, and she was actually charged with I don't even know how to put it into words. She worked in the ICU. This is in Virginia. She was a nurse in Virginia at the hospital. She worked in the ICU, and other nurses started noticing that there was babies with injuries, and they were unexplained fractures. Come to find out, this Erin girl, who was a nurse, she was employed, and it's Henrico. Listen, It's in Richmond, y'all. She was charged on Friday with malicious woundings and felony child abuse for allegedly intentionally injuring infants in the hospital. I find it interesting that ABC in every single article leaves out the real story. The real story is little Miss Erin is racist. Yeah, she sure is. She was targeting black babies in the y'all, I'm sorry, this really upsets me because I wish. The ICU, Erin was only breaking the arms and limbs of black babies. She never touched any other baby but black babies. Now, my first thought went to, oh, okay, so she's had some problems with the mothers of these infants. I don't know. But I would love to talk to the mothers and see if they had any maybe differences in opinions, verbal altercations. I would really, sideways, bombastic side-eye looks from her. Like, I really would love to know, because there's a story here, and the story is not even being told, but these were black children, and Erin Elizabeth Ann Stroutman was doing this intentionally to black kids. Now, it's really sad that the media is not telling you this, but of course this is ABC and MSNBC and CNN, and she has got a public defender. And I was like, well, how does she qualify for a public defender? She's a nurse. Don't she make great money? Anyways, they gave her a public defender, and she has not entered a plea yet. She's looking at 20 years in prison, and in my opinion, that's not enough time. She was charged with one felony of child neglect, and that carries up to 10 years in prison, as well as one count of felony malicious wounding for an injury sustained by an infant, which carries a maximum penalty of 20 years. And I do believe it was 6 or 7 children she did this. A mandated reporter. Yeah, this ABC article doesn't tell you anything about what actually happened. That's really sad. And that's the article that comes up when you Google NICU nurse in Virginia. And this is how details get left out, and then people don't understand, storyline. I just want to be clear that this was intentional. And at only one race of babies. Let's call things for what they are. Now, did she get in an argument? I don't know. I'm waiting on an article to come up, y'all. I'm sorry. I have all these stories up, but then I get on a story and I want to know more. She's only 6 years old. Ugh, what a despicable person. Looks like it happened back in November. They are reviewing. Oh, God. Police say that detectives are reviewing dozens of videos from inside the NICU, and they're re-examining the 23 and 24 cases as part of our investigation. They also suspended accepting any new NICU babies into the hospital as they continue this investigation. Thank God for that. I mean, she's been fired, and arrested. And this article doesn't tell me anything either. I want to be clear. She was going into areas with these children, and she was literally breaking their bones. And there was one couple that she actually tried to pin it on. The baby had a fractured fibula. One of the two. And this nurse tried to hand the child off to the parents after this was discovered that the child's arm or leg had been broken. And the parents said, no, we don't want to hold our child. What have you done? Absolutely not. They were terrified to even hold their child because they knew somebody in the hospital had done something to their infant. She needs to be under the jail. So, the FBI finally released. Y'all, I'm so excited for this because I'm really hoping that this is going to help me find work. So, just to be clear, I did 6 interviews this week. Six job interviews. The FBI has officially closed down its DEI offices. They're done. They're done. This is the death of DEI, and I'm so here for it because it's disgraceful and it's blatant racism. And I haven't been able to find a job because of these programs. I know it without a doubt. There's no negotiating it. I know it without a doubt. Sometimes you can walk into these interviews and you can look in a person's eyes and see that they're just dissatisfied with the fact that you are you. So, you know, I'm glad that the FBI, you know, they're not trustworthy people, the FBI, but this is a step in the right direction to close down these DEI initiatives and these programs. And in these programs, you know, part of the reason that California has been burned to the ground, and let me be clear, an area mass the size of Manhattan has been burned to the ground. So let's just imagine for a minute that Manhattan is no longer on the map. That's the devastation that California is facing right now. And part of the reason it got so out of hand was because of DEI programs. And that has been proven. That's not up for debate. Fire hydrants were dry, reservoirs were empty, people don't know which way to go. Look at everybody in their position that shouldn't be there, that were hired through DEI. You know, this is a system breakdown, and I feel horrible for California, but I'm proud of the FBI for shutting down DEI, their DEI offices. Also, right on par with people coming back to common sense, Starbucks, and I don't know if this is common sense, but I just want to be clear that Starbucks has had a lot of problems with homeless people over the, you know, they've been so open-minded that their brains have fallen out. You know, that's a perfect, it's like Bud Light, perfect way to say it. Starbucks is revising and reversing its open door policy. So you have to make a purchase now inside of Starbucks to even be on the premises. You can't just run in there and use their bathroom. You can't just run in there and use their Wi-Fi. You will have to make a purchase at Starbucks to be on the premises at Starbucks. They no longer have an open door policy where you can just come and sit and lounge and use their Wi-Fi. Listen, this is no surprise to me. Isn't it funny how for the past 2 years, I've been saying that Starbucks is not an option for me to get Wi-Fi from? Y'all remember that? Because they've already been implementing this. They're just saying it to the general public now. They don't want freeloaders property. And I get that. But this is why Starbucks has never been an option for me when it comes to making their places of business to get Wi-Fi. This is why I use McDonald's, libraries, and other places. But it looks like this is after 7 years. They're now requiring that people make a purchase if they want to hang out at coffee shops or use its restrooms. So you have to spend money to be in Starbucks now. I already knew this. I love that they're putting it in writing. They will also ban discrimination, consumption of alcohol, smoking, vaping, and drug using and panhandling. So I guess, you know, they're having a lot of problems. You know, if they have to state this publicly, they're having a lot of problems. The new rules reverse an open door policy put into place in 2018 after 2 black men were arrested at a Philadelphia Starbucks where they had gone in for a business meeting. The incident at that individual store, which had a policy of asking non-paying customers to leave, was caught on video and was a major embarrassment for the company. The change also comes under new leadership of Ryan NICCOL, who was hired from Chipotle last year to revise the struggling coffee chain. Chipotle, okay, the guy that worked for Chipotle was hired to work for Starbucks. I got you. I'm like, wait a second. His goal is to make it a community coffee house. Well, you're not making it a community, telling people that they can't stop in and pee. People are crazy, you know, and I get why they're doing this, but this is why I behave the way that I do when y'all were like, oh, go to Starbucks, and I'm like, no, that's not an option. Unless I have Starbucks money, I don't Starbucks Wi-Fi. And I actually try to keep that policy everywhere I go, because if you don't, you're going to catch somebody on a bad day, baby, and you're going to have the police in your face because people don't know how to mind their business. And they're miserable. They're miserable. So let's talk about this ex-Virginia Beach. I don't know why everything is out of Virginia this morning, but Virginia, shout out to you. Douglas France, he pled guilty this past week. When was this? I saw it. It said they give an update. No date. So he pled guilty to distribution of sexually explicit material involving a minor, and that charge carries a minimum of 5 years in prison. I don't understand why all of our first responders are out here behaving the way. I mean, I know that we've had isolated incidents, you know, when we look back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, but it has gotten worse. This porn issue is so bad, and I know it is. I have my ways of knowing. I know it is, because when I post things about sex predators, nobody wants to watch them. So that tells me that there's a lot more sex predators out there, because, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You get it? People don't want to be told about themselves. And if they're, listen, and you're not going to tell, listen, I'd be willing to bet that 1 out of 2 men are perverse. 1 out of 2 men. I'd be willing to bet that half of the population, and just like women, but 1 out of 2 have a perversion for children and young girls. I'd be willing to bet almost my life on it. Look at children's accounts with kids dancing and doing provocative stuff that has millions of views but no likes. Who do you think's watching that? Do you think grown women like me want to watch that? It's grown men watching that. And so when I post stories of perps being arrested for messing with children and or attempting to assault women, it gets, I would say, not even. It gets 1/4 the views that most content does. So that tells me that people just don't even want about the issue of sexual perversion that we actually have on our hands here. And it's bad. It's bad. So this firefighter, he was sentenced to 6 months for child porn charges. This is a huge issue. This is stemming back from charges in 22. He went to court and was finally sentenced, but it looks like he had, you know what? It doesn't tell, more than 100 files. More than 100 files. This wasn't one fucking picture, bruh. This is a life obsession. Just like that gay couple that adopted children just to produce child porn, that was sentenced to 100 years in prison this past week. They had over, 3 million over, y'all, it was 1 million or 3 million copy of pictures and videos that they had produced, they had made with their adoptive children. It's absolutely sick. And people don't want to talk about it. It's not going to get better unless we figure out a solution. It makes me sick. And these are our first responders. You know, the cop that was driving the car the other day watching porn, crashed into an old lady, almost killed her. Watching porn on the job, driving his car, going down the road. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And, you know, I guess I'm glad that they arrested the firefighter and the nurse and all of these first responders that we're talking about this morning. I'm glad that they arrested them. But how many more are there? Makes me sick. So, right on par with my prediction. I mean, it's not really hard to see. He is a Democrat, so you kind of knew it was coming, Brooke. But North Carolina, it looks like you guys might be able to get your abortion rights back eventually. It looks like Governor Josh Stein, you know, he revealed a new measure on Thursday that extended state protections for certain healthcare providers and patients reap health data just a few days before President Donald Trump takes office. It looks like that they are going to be attempting to get some sort of abortion back in the state of North Carolina. I don't know how they would do that. Democratic governor, so New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy's recent decision to stockpile abortion medication within the state are taking renewed action to curb possible anti-abortion measures under Trump's administration. Trump's stance on abortion was largely inconsistent. No, it wasn't. No, this is out of the AP. He's made it clear that he was, well, okay, it was. It was. He flip-flopped on abortion. I feel like he said it's wrong to kill babies. Regardless, it's a sin. So, right is right and wrong is wrong. I expected this because, you know, even though you guys voted, North Carolinians voted for Trump, y'all turn around and vote for this demonic creature, Josh Stein. So, you know, it'll be no surprise to me if North Carolina gets back on the demonic train of killing innocent children. It'll be no surprise how they would. So it looks Stein's action builds off a previous execution order from a former Democratic governor, Roy Cooper, in 2022, shortly after the U.S. Supreme Court over Roe v. Wade. Cooper's offered protections from extradition to out-of-state abortion patients and barred state agencies from aiding other state investigations into abortion patients traveling to North Carolina. Okay, so it looks like North Carolina is one of the only states in the South that doesn't restrict abortion access to 6 weeks or below. So does that mean still get an abortion here? I thought it was banned across the country. Why don't nothing never make no damn sense? If you say it's banned, don't say it's banned if it's not banned. Banned means it's not allowed. Like, I'm so confused. Let's just Google, can I get an abortion? Can I get an abortion in NC? It is legal. Jesus Christ, this makes me so sick, y'all. You know, I got mixed emotions about abortion. Here's where I stand. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It ain't that baby's choice. That baby shouldn't have to suffer because of your poor choices. It's wrong. And it's, unfortunately, statistically speaking, it's the same people going in over and over and over and getting these. They're failing to even think outside of the box and talk to their healthcare provider. Hell, the only healthcare provider that they have is fucking Planned Parenthood, honey. The last doctor they saw was Planned Parenthood 6 months prior when they were getting their abortion. We all know that I've had an abortion. This is why I feel like this now. Sometimes you have to go through things to realize that they're wrong. To change your mind. To change your mind. I do think that abortion should be acceptable in medical scenarios when women, you know, when their lives are on the line, when it's down to the baby or the mother type of thing, or if there's medical purposes. I do believe in cases of incest, rape, and assault that it should be accepted. You know, it's acceptable if the mother chooses to do that. But we need to have some kind of regulations. If y'all want to be out here killing people, we need to regulate abortions somehow, because this is not acceptable for women to have 15 in a lifetime. That is a criminal offense at that point because you are negligent. I'm going to find some statistics. I'll find some statistics and I will show you that it is the same women going back and forth between these Planned Parenthood time after time after time after time. And most of them already have multiple children. Most of them have been seen by Planned Parenthood before. You know, and it's not okay. And that's why I'm against it. Well, I'm against it because of God. But also, I'm against it because of the stats. Because it's blatant murder. So, yeah, I didn't even know it was still legal here. you know, what I went through, what I put myself through from my choices is so upsetting. I know that I said that I was going to talk about it one day, but I just have not gotten there yet, because it's very emotional for me, realizing that, you know, and you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is at the time I felt that was my only option. They didn't give me any other options. You know, everybody was pushing my head into the flame on this. Everybody was telling me, this is what you need to do. This is the only way. And that's sad. That's very sad. I don't like this guy, Josh Stein. I think he's going to be horrible for North Carolina. I think it was a missed opportunity for North Carolinians to have an amazing new governor and bring things back to financial stability in this state. But, you know, the people that are in charge here, which is the swamp, they don't want y'all to be able to afford it. They want to keep pushing rent up and up, babe. Y'all voting for the wrong people here in Carolina, and I'm telling you, 30 years from now, you're going to be like, all right, she was crazy, but she was right. Y'all think this Josh Stein going to give y'all some relief? I hate to tell you, he's going to run this state even more into the ground, and he ain't going to help. Just like Governor Roy Cooper did. North Carolina, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Charlotte and High Point are some of the most dangerous areas in this area, like in a few states. They done had like 5 or 6 deaths just since January in Greensboro. I mean, they have shootings every day. They have multiple shootings every day. They've had deaths. They've had like 6 or 7 deaths since the start of the year. So it's crazy. I just think that we need to do better when it's to voting in. You know, how y'all vote for, y'all go so hard for Donald Trump, and then y'all turn around and vote for Josh Stein. I ain't gonna let y'all live it down, because y'all had a great opportunity. And listen, I ain't saying Mark Robertson was the one, but at least he freaking said what needed to be said. Ladies, keep your damn skirts down. Abortion is not a form of birth control. And it's not. It's not at all. I was about to go over to the tags office, and I just realized they're not even open yet. They don't open till, y'all, this sun is so bright. Hey, Andrea. Sorry. Let me go back through here, and I'm going to look at the caffeine. Dorothy, you want some? I got some for you. I'm out of damn nicotine, but I got this little vape. Hello, Salvador. Here, you can have a sip of mine. It's still warm. Rude dude. What's going down? That's what I heard in my head when I read that. It's going down. Meet me in the... It's going down. Yeah, oh God. Andrea, thank you. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I've got to show y'all this picture. This couple who adopted some children. The movie Mr. Deeds with the guy with the crazy eyes. Honey, there was a couple that adopted some children. And, y'all, I can't explain it. Hold on a second, I can find this. First of all, he's a children's book author. Oh, where am I? The comments. Y'all, the comments. I get so sick of these stories, and I'm here to tell you, if I ever find out something happened to one of my youngins, I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. I just want you to know, let me say it publicly. I put them there to be safe. Look at this. Listen, I'm not talking about him. The people on the other video was talking about him. I just can't help it. Who at the adoption agency thought this was a good idea? I'm just saying, coming in looking like that, I would have had to do 2 background checks, okay? Oh my God, y'all. If you go find a video talking about this online, you will laugh so hard. I'm not trying to be mean. I can't help it. I can't help it. Ah! Lord. He's like, I need to take your picture, but I need you to look over here. No, not over there. Over here. I'm taking you to get fingerprinted. No, not that way. This way. Oh my God. First of all, so I saw this story, and these people adopted children for 8 years until an 8-year-old child, his organs failed. And that's what alerted the police, is that this little boy's organs failed. And these people in Florida do be crazy, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. His eyes, y'all, his eyes. What happened? I got so many questions. Are you okay? Oh. Them eyes are so crossed, it looked like it might affect his hearing. You know? They're so crossed, it looks like it might affect his hearing. I'm sorry. So it looks like the couple was supposed to start on Monday, January 13th, but they reached an agreement with prosecutors. They pled guilty to the charges. It looks like the woman, Jennifer, she was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and her husband will be sentenced to 10 years behind bars. They faced more than 100 years in prison, but for some reason they only got 10 and 12 years. If he had organ failure, he died, right? Don't you die? The couple was arrested on child abuse charges in New York. Look, slow down. New Year's Eve day, 2021. After Joseph brought their 8-year-old daughter to the hospital, and it's a girl, Brooke, where she was diagnosed with pneumonia, a staph infection, and failure of the liver and kidneys. She was malnourished, had multiple bruises, a skin infection, and several wounds. This is child abuse. So it looks like they immediately arrested these parents. After Jennifer was released from custody on bond, she was arrested in late January on new charges of false imprisonment of a child under 13. The new charges come after an investigation into the couple's children. And the children claim that they used to get spanked to the point of bleeding, doused in cold water, and locked in their bedrooms. Here's the thing, though. That malnutrition doesn't lie. That staph infection doesn't lie. That stuff, that doesn't just happen overnight. You know, the pneumonia, the staph infection, the failure of the kidneys and livers, that's not something that just happens overnight. She had skin infections, open wounds. Give me a break and cut it out. The couple adopted the children in 2014, so it was multiple children. God, his eyes, y'all. Imagine trying to have a serious conversation with him, you know? You're trying to communicate in a relationship. I just want you to look at me when you talk to me. Why can't you look me in the eyes? I'm gonna stop. But I had to show y'all that picture because I'm just like, whoa. They look like happy people, right? Imagine rolling into an adoption agency. Nobody had any questions. I'm just saying, I would have had questions. The comments, though, everybody in the comments on the videos on YouTube, just, it's so good. It's so funny. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. All right, let's go to the tags office. If my phone messes up, at the Wi-Fi off. I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, Lord. Tags. That's so funny. Oh, my head. I'm kind of upset for getting rid of one of those iPhones because those things were so old, and I know they're going to be worth money someday. It was an iPhone 2, the original phone with the black button. It had one button. I sold it for the money to get my tags. I ain't got no choice. Come on, man. Fucking go. God damn. Excuse me, Lord. Shit. It's fucking 35 and you're holding up traffic. Because you won't go. I can't stand when I'm trying to pull out and somebody's going down the road and I'm waiting for them to go and they going extremely under the speed limit. They going so slow you can tell there's no way they could be doing the speed limit. And it's like, well, you go, because I can't move until you get up the road, buddy. Please. Pay attention. And if you're going under the speed limit, you need to go to jail. I don't care what nobody says. You need to be in jail. Straight to jail. You're literally impeding traffic. And that is a word. It means to hinder or like block or barricade or like to prevent, you know, like I got a transfer truck and I got it blocking an intersection. I'm impeding traffic. It is a word. I was right when I used it like 6 months ago, and I'm like, I don't know if that's right. That's funny. To block. You're holding me up from getting tags. It tastes like damn candy. I wish they'd stop doing that. Bring back real tobacco. If you can't smoke a damn real cigarette, a damn Marlboro, you too pussy to be smoking. Plain and simple. If you need all that flavored shit, ugh, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. It gives me a fucking perpetual, tension headache through my shoulders, my back, my neck, all the way up to my head. Every time I smoke that thing. My pod is out. It looks like it's not, but it is. I can assure you. It's like empty. It tastes burnt when it gets to the bottom. Ugh. Girl, you about to be standing out there for another 15 minutes. Some girls standing outside the tags and registration. They don't open for another damn 10 minutes. Are you serious? Yeah. I couldn't believe how easy it's been getting enrolled in school and doing all of this stuff. Getting my residency declared and the process. It's FAFSA, residency, enrollment, a school meeting, class pick out, and then they'll get my FAFSA, and then I'll be issued my books, my computer, and all of that, and then I'll start classes. So that's, from the best of my knowledge, the process that I've had to go through. So it's not, a one and done, you just show up and everything's handled. Hell no. You gotta apply for financial aid first. Make sure to pick that's another thing that nobody tells you. You gotta make sure when you're doing your financial aid to pick the school that you want to when you're filling out your financial aid paperwork, make sure you pick the schools that you're actually interested in. That's not just I might be interested in this and that. No, you need to put the school that you actually are looking to go to or interested in. Nobody told me that. I was just trying to get through the damn FAFSA thinking that they was trying to damn market me to some schools. So I'll never forget that back in damn 2021 when I started filling out the paperwork. I was like, what the hell? They were like, no, you got to put the school on there. I was like, oh, okay. Well, for your Pell Grant to be accepted. So, like, to get the Pell Grant money. The school has to be on there through FAFSA, on your FAFSA thing. I wonder why he doesn't do auto mechanic work anymore. The guy that I went to get my headlight fixed, he said he doesn't even advertise. He doesn't even got a credit card runner because he doesn't operate business anymore. So that's really nice of him for me to just walk in and him say, sure, yeah, I'll do it. And I was really worried that it was going to be more than what it was. $160 to change that out was not a bad deal. Especially when I'd already been to 3 other people, one of which was myself, you know. So I'd been to 2 other mechanics, and they could not get that headlight out of there. So I guess maybe it's just been in there so long. It's metal on metal. It's probably damn not rusted together, but you know how like those spark plugs, they have that white stuff around them sometimes. It's probably, corroded. It was probably corroded in there. I don't know, but he got it out. I still can't believe the headlight was more than the labor and the gas it took to go to get all that done. It makes me sick. All right, I need registration. Damn it. What is this? Damn receipts. Damn $160 headlight receipt from Advance. It's bullshit. Bullshit. I don't need that. I don't know why this kid wanted this phone so bad, but I was trying to get him to give me $250 for it. He wouldn't do it. He gave me $200. So I have exactly what I need. Hell, I might actually need to take more money in because taxes. My laundry money. And that's it. That's how the cookie crumbles. I need my registration. I wish they would just let me go by my first and last. I hate that they use my first. I hate it. Oh, do I need my license? Nope. That's another thing. Ain't that kind of sketchy? I mean, if somebody wants to pay your bill, I guess let them pay your bill, right? I'm going to just take it just in case. They're not open yet. I got both my charges dismissed. I'm so thankful. Yeah, they must not, Alexa. That's my point. Do they not have nowhere to be? Because if I'm on the road, I'm trying to get somewhere. So please get out of my way so I can get there. And if you're driving under the speed limit, you are absolutely in the wrong. And you might not need to be on the road because you're a danger to society if you can't go 35 miles an hour. If you're scared to go 35 miles an hour. I mean, and they are. They really are. People, listen, the upcoming generation is not driving like we did in the 80s and 90s, baby. They're just not. They're terrified to get behind the wheel of a car. Just like they're terrified to go to a job interview, which is why they have to take their mommies with them. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry you feel that way. I actually was targeted because I was happy with my life. You know, that pisses people off to see somebody homeless living out of a car, broke as hell, don't even know where they're going to get their next dollar from, but they still got a smile on their face. It pisses people off, and they absolutely targeted me. And I feel bad for them, and I'm going to pray for them. I have been. I hope God changes their hearts. You know, I did nothing wrong, and I actually handled the situation beautifully. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have went back and cussed her out and pointed out the fact that she's on drugs. But, you know. So proud of myself. Alright, I guess let's go. Still got like 7 minutes. I'm so sick of this phone. Views. It's empty though. That's empty. Views. And then this is the Rise. I don't know. I hate these. I can't stand no flavor. I like tobacco. No. Why is it that people be like, oh, you want to try my vape? No, I don't. No, I don't want your herpes. No, I don't. Stop putting your mouth on other people's shit. God, that's exactly how you catch herpes. Exactly. No, I don't want to try your vape. Thank you, though. And there are certain people I would. But also, when it comes to that herpes simplex on the mouth, sometimes you can't even tell that people are having a breakout. Oh my God, y'all. There was this girl that went viral for talking about she had herpes. And she said that she got on social media and she says, can you notice my face is swollen? And it looks a little swollen. It looks a little weird. And they're like, she's like, I'm having a herpes, but I didn't mean to block you, Andrea. It's YouTube. That's what y'all don't understand. I go to block somebody else and their name will pull up. Your name did not pull up when I clicked on it. It shows their name, and then you go to click hit block, and it does somebody else. It's a glitch. I don't get it. It's a glitch. I don't know. So she's on live. She's telling people that she's got herpes, and she says, you can't even tell that I'm having a breakout right now. And you really can't. There's no individual sores. Okay, now it's a little swollen, but that's very telling. Just, and people were bashing her for talking about this. And I'm like, no, you need to stop. You need to stop. If she wants to tell the world that she's got herpes and point out the fact that you can't even tell it, good for her. Because that's what we need. Yeah, look at her. Beautiful girl. And you can't even tell that she's in the middle of a herpes outbreak. A herpes outbreak is when you can contract herpes. They have to be having and they don't have to be having an outbreak. That's another thing. Typically, we see the transfer of herpes with an outbreak. And the patient will get sores and swelling. Their lymph nodes will swell. Typically, we see the transmission of herpes through an outbreak. But you ain't got to be having an outbreak, babe. You ain't got to be having an outbreak to get herpes, okay? She ain't got to be having an outbreak to give you herpes. And I think that, yeah, it's a little personal that this girl is putting this on the internet. But this is how we grow. This is how we educate people to protect themselves. She's making it very clear that you can't even tell she has herpes. But she could give that shit to you if you want to go make out. That's the point. And people are bashing her. It'd be one thing if she was a sex worker out here still having sex with men, passing that shit around. That's not what she said. What she said was I got herpes and you can't even tell. Kudos to her for being honest. I mean, she probably had to come over a lot of shame and guilt to even talk about that. And I think that that's the type of encouragement. I mean, maybe not everybody out here. We don't need to all hear. Listen, we don't need to hear your damn STD stories over here. But I think that it is positive that she's making it clear that you can't even tell she's got it. That's the point. That's the point. And I wonder how much of the population has that shit. She said 80% in her video, but I don't believe that number. It's so funny to me when somebody's like, oh, it's just a cold sore. No, Karen, that is herpes. Herpes is a cold sore. Cold sore is herpes. Simplex, babe. Simplex. I'm not judging. I think it's important we talk about these things to prevent young girls and boys from making poor decisions. If they don't know, they just don't know. I bet you money if you walked up to 1 out of 2 people right now and was like, hey, you can only get herpes when there's an outbreak and you can see it on a person's face, right? They'd probably be like, yeah. And it's just not the case. Sometimes you can't even see they're having an outbreak. And that's the point. It can still be passed around, but you don't even know. That shit's scary. You know, ain't it crazy though? We got little crazy girls like that talking about truth and telling their story, but then the very next post was a gay man on a podcast saying that he does not tell his sexual partners that he has got HIV, and he tells people not to tell other people that they've got HIV. The difference in communities is mind-boggling. Y'all want to bash this girl for being honest about the fact that she has herpes, and she's simply warning people. She's saying, hey, you can't even tell I got it. If we made out right now, you'd get it probably, because I'm in the middle of an outbreak. She's making a valid point that sometimes you can't even tell. But a gay man can go on a podcast and give advice to the whole nation to not tell their sexual partners that they have an STD, or they, that they have a sexually transmitted disease. And nobody says shit about him doing that, which is a felony, by the way, in some states. I mean, the cops should have met him before he left that podcast, and as soon as he was done, he should have been placed in handcuffs for admitting to a felony. And it's to advise people to do horrible things like that. It is law in most places that you have to disclose an STD to a partner before you have sex. And if you don't, and you knew that you had that STD, you could be charged. And rightfully so, because you're putting people's lives in danger. Some of that shit you can't get rid of. Some of it you can, and some of it it'll kill you. It's not a game. Let's go in here. It's not a game. It scares the hell out of me, you know? Oh shit. Oh my God. Shut up. Beep. Y'all, I've got to go get a vape or something. That other one is giving me a headache. So cute down here. Thank you. Pretty plants. Yes, it might be a misdemeanor. I don't know. I just wanted to pay my tax to renew. And there's my driver's license. Yes, I am. It's been like 3 months now. Yes. Oh. Thank you. You too. Well, I got it. So she's like, you can't record in here. Okay, Karen. I can't help but notice it's always some pink-haired, 300-pound heifer in there. You know what I mean? It's got a problem. Got to just cause a problem, you know? If I would have been some old man on the phone, she wouldn't have said shit. But because I'm a pretty young girl, she had to say something. I was going to show her, but let's not cause any problems this morning. If you would have seen her, you would have knew why. Oh. Ah. All right. I got a little stack of them now. I done had this truck so long, it's starting to protrude out. Probably should have washed that before I done it, but it's alright. I think they use like damn super glue on them damn things. I need to repaint my nails. They're coming apart already. I do like doing them better myself because I save myself a shit ton of money. Okie dokie pokey. Yeah, I've been off the Suboxone for 3 months, 4 months now. I'll never go back on that stuff. I will never. I'm so glad that stuff like that is behind me because I wanted it for so long. I wanted to be clean for 20 years and I had no help. Quite the opposite. People would give me drugs. Yeah. And when you don't have anywhere to go, when there's no women's shelters, when there's no resources for you, you have to stay in an abusive situation. If you don't have family that you can go ask for help or friends you can go ask for help, then you're just going to be stuck. And that's how it was. But now I live in a car. Let me think. Where's my notebook? Okay. So since I've not received food stamps or any kind of help like that from the state, so what happened was I had received $1,000 donation from some guy, some person. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. And I'm so grateful to that person because that's how I paid my truck payment back in August of last year. This person donated $1,000 to my channel. I received a $1,300 check, which was not even enough to cover my gas bill for the month. And my food stamps got cut off. Okay. All right. Fine. Whatever. So I haven't had food stamps. Well, my check this month is only $400. So now I qualify for food stamps. So we're going to the food stamp office because I need it. I literally have to have it. I've already started going without food again. I ate a Taco Bell box yesterday. That was all I had. Which is not food. I haven't eaten today, and I probably won't eat till this afternoon because I'm trying to conserve money because I don't have any money. So, oh, I do. I got $4. My insurance is due. My storage shed is due. My insurance it'll get cut off on the 28th. And, you know, it's one of those things where I've done 6 interviews this week. I've had no positive good news. So I can't do anything but what I'm doing. One thing's for sure. If I was putting needles in my arms, I wouldn't have these problems. And that's the sad part. That's the real sad part. You know, it's crazy how so many people will help you kill yourself. But if you want to help yourself, nobody wants to help you. Where is my bag? So you have to make less than $1,200 in North Carolina to qualify for food stamps or Medicaid. And it looks like because I mean, in my opinion, it's because I started talking about the financial aspect to YouTube and the truth that they're not giving me views now, you know? So, or maybe people just like watching me lose my mind. It makes them feel better about themselves. They want me to fail. That's crazy. But that's the world. We live in a crazy world. That's absolutely how people behave. Why are people so offended when I speak truth? Stop behaving that way and I won't say that you behave that way. Not you, but you see what I'm saying? Like, Love the drama. Oh, God. I'm so glad I got school set up. I'm so excited. Hell, I'm thinking about adding another class. I am. I'm thinking about adding an elective course, a music class. We'll see. I'm going over. I got an appointment, another appointment. So I'm going over there next week, and we'll see. I've already picked out my computer class and my literature class. So, I don't know. I was thinking about adding an elective course. You know, if I took a music class, though, I want to do it in person. That's something I want to go to school for. Like, I loved choir. I grew up, I was a theater kid, so to speak. And I wasn't a theater kid. I was a performer. I was a singer. I started doing talent shows in, like, 4th grade. And anytime I went to a school where they had a talent show, I always had a good time. Always had a good time. And I would like to venture more into music because it makes me happy. And once again, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and use that for my channel. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We're just in the beginning. I don't know why sometimes, like, I feel like I'm so behind when I actually did a really good job to start with. I just, you know what it is that nobody wants to give you credit when credit is due. And so you forget to congratulate yourself. Just like when I got clean. Just like when I stay clean every day. You think anybody's ever been like, oh, God, Brooke, you should be really proud of yourself for having the will to even want to get clean. Most people in your position with them and living in a $1 million house with $1 million at your disposal for drugs wouldn't have made the choice to get clean. But nobody looks at that. They're just jealous of the fact that I fucked a guy that had some money. When I actually loved him. He was a narcissistic abuser. That's why I tell y'all, if you get clean, never just expect to never hear congratulations. And matter of fact, I posted a video 2 weeks ago showcasing how I looked when I was on drugs. It was a short. Every single picture of it was of me when I was on drugs. And I was dressed to the nines with my nails done and my gold jewelry in and my damn Kim Kardashian outfits. Bleeding down myself because I cut my finger off fucking drunk. People don't want addicts to win. People don't want people to stay sober because it makes them feel good about themselves when people fail. And that pertains to anything in life. That's not just drug use. That pertains to anything. The fact is misery loves company. And they always will. Because they'll always be miserable because they're not willing to do the hard work necessary to be happy. You can preach till you're blue in the face. People don't want to be happy. They want to be miserable because that's all that they know. So I had an idea. I'm going to shove you guys in my pocket and y'all are going to do some damn recon with me. I want y'all to take a gander at the different races in the social services department. Now, I don't know if this will be the day that I roll up in there and I'm the only white girl again, but more often than not, it's full of illegal immigrants that have flooded to North Carolina that are attempting to get benefits and housing. North Carolina is not a sanctuary state. However, they receive funding for illegal immigrants. They receive funding for everything in this state, from foster care to health and human services. Like, they receive money for all of these people. Every child that's taken out of a family, that child, they're given funding for that child, the state. Same thing goes for illegals. Every illegal they can get in the door, they get funding. So yes, we are not a sanctuary state, but they operate as such. They pass policies, as you know, maybe we should talk to the citizens of Winston-Salem. Maybe we should talk to the citizens. Maybe we should walk the streets and talk to people. What do y'all think? I'm down. I'll have to put my face on first, but we could definitely do some street polls on if people's lives have gotten better in the past 4 years, how their lives have been affected by illegal immigration in the state of North Carolina. First, though, I want to go into the Department of Social Services. I got to do paperwork. And then we'll see where I'm at, because I also got to go to storage today. I posted like 50 things on Facebook, so we'll see what happens. I wanted that phone for that phone, and I did not want to sell it because that phone is worth double. I've got 2 left over. I never even used that phone. Somebody had given me that phone as a gift. I bought my first one from my brother. I was so happy to own an iPhone. I'll never forget that. How times have changed. Oh, the only thing the iPhone is good for is the quality of the camera. Other than that, Android can do better. By far. I don't know why I got a damn iPhone. Because I was trying to keep up with iPhones, and them damn youngins had me feeling bad. Imagine a 14-year-old making you feel like shit because you ain't got a damn iPhone. So I went. Yeah, I don't like Apple either. Them damn passwords. They kind of scammy. They are scammy. What am I talking about? They are scammy. Lord forbid you set up an Apple wallet. You'll just have money missing all the time. They just take what they want. Send you a receipt. Then you got to call Apple Care and be like, what the, or Apple, you a receipt. Then you got to call Apple Care and be like, what the, or Apple, and be like, what the hell? Y'all done stole like $600 from me in a year. They just take what they want. I guess a lot of rich people, they don't even look at their damn credit card forms. You know, their debit card forms. I don't know. I know every penny I got. You know what I mean? Every penny is accounted for. Every single cent. There's a lot of homeless people in this area that we're going to. Right next to the Department of Social Services. Y'all got hundreds of homeless people out here on the sidewalk. You don't see no immigrants out there, though. I saw in New York where they were kicking out illegal immigrants out of housing. So it looks like Eric Adams is going to comply with what Trump wants to do. Oh God, I can't see. This is a long ass drive. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Welcome. That's where I have to go, though. What my hope is that I finally get a call from somebody who wants to make positive changes in their company, and who realizes that worth ethic and merit should come before anything. So crazy.